You're watching ABC7 News at 6.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis.
And I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us. Our top story this hour, the hunt continues for Northport's next police chief.
The city hired a consulting firm to whittle down the candidates, but when it came to the finalists, the city manager then rejected them all. ABC7's Christopher Bradley joins us live with what comes next for the city. Christopher?
Well, good evening. It's back to the drawing board for the city of Northport in replacing the soon-to-be retired police chief Kevin Vespia, who's hanging up his badge at the end of this month.
It wasn't necessarily that they weren't good. It was just he didn't feel it was the best fit for us.
A week ago, the 4 finalists gathered at City Hall to meet with the public. While they had a warm reception, the city manager, Peter Lear, decided they weren't for Northport.
We want to be more focused on the president's 21st century policing model, which focuses on outreach and those types of things.
The city received 60 applications for the top cop job. They narrowed that down to 6, but 4 of those dropped out after receiving better offers from their current cities. Northport spent $17,000 hiring the STARS program, which helps in the process of hiring police chiefs. Now they'll have to do it again.
I personally think if the STARS program was not able to put out a candidate that was best for the city, maybe we should look at a discounted rate for the second time around.
It's likely to cost less the second time around, and Public Information Officer Josh Taylor pointed out any money spent will be made up in not paying a police chief for the next few months.
There will be some cost savings of not having a chief, if you will. I mean, it's not ideal.
It may not be ideal, but the city manager is working to decide who at the police department should serve as interim chief. As for the wait, Northport resident Justin Willis thinks waiting for a fresh face may be a good thing for the department.
At the end of the day, having a chief that's going to come in and look at it with a fresh set of eyes, do things a little bit different, would be great for Northport.
Now, the city manager hasn't yet announced who will serve as that interim police chief. It could take anywhere from 4 to 6 months or more for the city manager to choose his ideal police chief candidate. Live in Sarasota, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, thank you so much, Christopher. While Florida may be on the verge of becoming the first state to observe daylight saving time all year long, there are still a few more hoops to jump through. The bill is headed to Governor Rick Scott's desk, but even if Scott approves it, the bill still needs a stamp of approval from Congress. There's support from both sides of the aisle for Florida's time change. Many lawmakers feeling an extra hour of light in the evening could bring more business to the tourism industry. But for the Clock Gallery in Sarasota, the change could bring less business through the door.
You'd be surprised how many people actually damaged their clock during the time change. So it's we have a little bit more business during that time.
If all goes through, Floridians will turn their clocks ahead 1 hour this Sunday and never have to change it again.
As part of National Reading Month, some of the older preschoolers at Children First in Sarasota got extra special guests for reading time today. The big kids, kindergartners, as the Hershorn Schiff Community Day School in Newtown spent some time reading to the preschoolers as part of March's Reading Month. There's no better way to get excited about learning to read than in the hands-on way that, especially for these preschoolers, that will soon be kindergartners next year. And then for the students at the Community Day School, it's a much-needed confidence boost.
We've been working to learn these books all year long, so these kids are ready to share what they know and also to show these little ones that every step along the way is worth celebrating. When you have a good book, you should share it.
Kids are also sowing the seeds of their friendship by continuing an annual tradition, and that's helping each other plant flowers and lettuce in the community garden.
One of my favorite things is during National Reading Month to go and read to some students, and they get so excited and they ask so many great questions too. I'm always impressed.
They do. Love to see, the love of reading at such a young age. Right. All right, let's get a check on our weather tonight with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. A little cooler tonight, Bob.
Yeah, reading these temperatures, you can see down into the low 60s already with that brisk northwest wind. It makes it feel a bit cooler out there. 63 right now in Sarasota, 66 in Orlando. Still pretty warm in Miami now at 73 degrees, but I mentioned those northwest winds. They're pretty strong in Anna Maria now, 16-mile-an-hour wind there. 9 in Lakewood Ranch, Siesta Key the same. And down to our south, Minnesota Beach a little bit stronger, same in Venice now, and warm Mineral Springs at 12. And the temperatures are going to continue to plummet. We had a few showers around during the early morning hours, and those have since moved well down to our south. And you can see those showers continue to push in to the Keys and beyond. But for us, high and dry here, and we'll stay that way. There are some advisories still in effect. Small craft advisory until 9 o'clock tonight. Also, a rip current advisory in effect for area beaches. A fire weather warning, that's soon to expire, too. Lows tonight will be unseasonably cool into the upper 40s to low 50s up and down the coast. And you can see 56 at Anna Maria, but almost 10 degrees cooler in the parish at 47 degrees. More on our weather forecast. Talk about another front headed our way coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. Sarasota County Sheriff Tom Knight has released his 2017 annual report.
That report focuses on crime and other issues affecting residents in the county. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live now from the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office with more. Rick?
Yeah, guys, we just got our hands on this report. It does go through a lot of things happening here. This provides an overview of crime, addiction, and public safety, as well as the budget. The Sheriff's Office says they are tackling the drug crisis, and crime continues to drop.
We've seen a great crime rate reduction since Sheriff Knight took office in 2009. Since 2009, violent crime has decreased almost 40%, and Part 1 offenses have decreased nearly 50%. That's something unheard of statewide. We're very proud of those numbers, and we attribute our crime rate reduction to our intelligence-led policing model, which essentially means putting resources where they're needed most. Our deputies are out there 24/7, 365. They know where the people are that they need to find and track down, and they do a great job.
And this 2017 annual report can be found on the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office website. We'll have a lot more details on this report coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. Reporting live from Sarasota County, I'm Rick Adams. Back to you.
Rick, thank you. Parkland school shooting suspect Nicholas Cruz has been formally charged with 17 counts of first-degree murder, which could mean a death sentence if he's convicted. A grand jury in Fort Lauderdale returning that indictment today against the 19-year-old for the Valentine's Day massacre at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. He's also charged with 17 counts of attempted murder. Police say Cruz confessed to the mass murder. A CNN affiliate, WSVN, reports that the couple Cruz had been living with was in court today after being subpoenaed to testify. An attorney for the Sneed family says they were just trying to help Cruz when they took him in.
They tried to do the right thing. They tried to provide a home to this young man who lost his mother, who didn't have a home. And nobody saw this coming. Nobody could predict this. And my clients, they're gun owners, they're safe gun owners. And we don't have any absolute knowledge as to how it is that he managed to get into that safe or get that ammunition and do this.
Cruz's public defender has said he'll plead guilty if prosecutors take the death penalty off the table. The Broward County State Attorney has not announced a decision on that death penalty.
Anytime now, the Florida House of Representatives could decide on a $400 million plan being considered following that mass shooting in Parkland. If approved, the plan would put more money into mental health screening, school hardening, and raising the purchasing age for guns in the state, among other gun protection measures. If the House approves the bill, Governor Rick Scott must also sign off on that plan.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio announcing plans to file legislation that would give incentives to states enacting gun violence protection orders. Those incentives would come in the form of grants from the Department of Justice over the next 5 years. The orders would allow family members or law enforcement officials to petition courts to prohibit the purchase or possession of guns by people who are deemed a significant threat.
And one of the things that we learned, is that there was really not many tools available to law enforcement or to families when they realize that someone in their home or someone in the community is either a danger to themselves or a danger to others.
Florida Senator Bill Nelson joined Rubio for the announcement today, saying he backed the proposal, but he also ultimately wants universal background checks and more restrictions on assault weapons. Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, the Sunshine State in the spotlight. Why Florida is being heralded for its higher education.
Plus, how a new service is expected to bring thousands to our area.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
It's time to take a road trip.
Burn rubber for Birmingham, where you can feed your need for speed at Barber Motorsports Park and Museum. Now this gets my motor running. Meet Iron Men. Hey there, big guy. And make a date with your 9-iron. Feed the animals at the zoo and the birds. Then enjoy the award-winning restaurant scene. Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
Has been reached on a new state budget. That's according to House Speaker Richard Corcoran, who made the announcement today. However, details of that deal have yet to be released. This means that lawmakers will have to extend their annual session past Friday. Florida has a 72-hour cooling off period to make sure that everyone is able to read the budget before the final vote.
Florida is ranked the best state in the nation for higher education. That's according to a U.S. News and World Report ranking. The ranking was determined based on several factors, including the time it takes Florida students to complete 2- and 4-year higher education programs, the cost of tuition and fees, and the burden of debt for college graduates. This is the second year in a row Florida has ranked #1.
The addition of a new nonstop service is expected to bring more people here to the Suncoast. Allegiant Airlines announcing today that beginning June 7th, it will begin operating a twice-weekly year-round route from Nashville International to the Punta Gorda Airport. The new flights are expected to bring nearly 20,000 additional visitors to our area. One-way fares are expected to start at $48. Wow, low prices there.
Yeah. Your chilly forecast coming up right after this.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured or arrested, I know this feels like the end of the road, but really it's the beginning of a long, potentially stressful process. So give us a call. Let us give you some peace of mind.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Why do that?
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Florida Studio Theater presents Native Gardens. Stately gardens and cultures clash, turning friendly neighbors into feuding adversaries. When a disagreement over a long-standing fence spirals into an all-out comedic battle of taste, privilege, and entitlement, no one comes out smelling like a rose. Critics are calling Native Gardens timeless as well as timely, smart and first-rate. Audience are calling it one of the best. Native Gardens is now playing. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
Well, when you consider what they're getting up in the Northeast right now, we're doing okay, huh?
Yeah, going to continue to get it too, and it looks like we'll see some cooler weather, as we talked about yesterday, now and again across our area. Tonight will be one of those nights, and on the beaches, we still have some issues there. We have rip tides, rip currents. You can see those high waves moving onshore. All that water has to get back out there, and so it kind of creates a channel of fast-moving water, which if you get trapped in, boy, it can be very dangerous, and does kill a lot of people here in the Florida waters as a result of the strong winds. Well, it's back, the cool weather and red tide. The latest report has come in, and people are calling up and complaining about the irritation they're being felt along the area beaches in Sarasota County. It's not in Manatee County at this point, and it is, though, bringing up the concentration in the coastal waters there in Sarasota County, especially from Venice southward. And you can see the reports. Sarasota had 22 samples to background to medium concentrations. Medium concentrations can cause fish kills, and you see quite a few of those being reported into Charlotte County, also down into Lee County, and now spreading northward into Sarasota County. So that is a problem. Again, you can file your own report too. If you go to some of the area beaches, you have that problem with red tide, go to FWC and you can actually file a report there, so they help them out. As far as our Titan radar goes, no rain around now, just some showers well down to the south in the Florida Straits. And as far as our current conditions go, we have sunshine, but it is cool out there, 63 degrees, and the dew point temperature 41. Winds out of the north-northwest at 10, and it has been rather brisk throughout this afternoon. The pressure continues to rise, and with a rising barometer, we can expect clear skies overnight. 73 the high, a couple degrees shy of the normal, the record way up there. And as far as the dew point temperature goes, this is a number that we look at for predicting overnight lows, and it's down in the low 40s. It's considered pretty low here. In the 20s in Orlando, 28 in Jacksonville. I don't think we'll see low 40s because the winds will be up and it kind of mixes the atmosphere up a little bit, but we will see lows definitely into the upper 40s. Now, some high clouds occasionally streaming on by, but generally sunny skies expected on Thursday and Friday. But with all that sunshine around and a north wind, it's not going to warm things up all that much. Temperatures will be below seasonal averages right through Friday afternoon. Now, as far as the forecast goes tomorrow, a mixture of sun and clouds. I mentioned some of the high clouds around, but generally sunny skies. Highs only into the low to mid 60s tomorrow with a north wind. It will make it feel a little bit cooler. So we'll start off into the 30s in Tallahassee tomorrow morning, 43 in Jacksonville, 53 in Fort Myers. Sarasota downtown should be right around 51 degrees. And then highs tomorrow only into the mid-60s here along the west coast of Florida. It's cool across the entire state as this front will make its way all the way down into Cuba. And then even colder start on Friday morning. We're talking mid-40s, even some low 40s inland. In places like Orlando, get down to 44 degrees there, and then highs on Friday. We'll get back still into the upper 60s only. So a pretty cool couple of days, but not nearly as cold and snowy as they're seeing here. So a big snowstorm Friday and Saturday for the Northeast. And then look at on Monday and Tuesday, it'll be the third major snowstorm in less than 10 days taking shape over the Northeast, with yet again blizzard-like conditions and heavy snow forecast across the Northeast. So winter not over quite yet across the eastern two-thirds of the nation. 22 in Minot, 45 in Memphis, Cleveland at 32, and then highs tomorrow into the 30s. Cleveland at 32, Detroit 35, Toronto 35, and Minot 21 degrees. Now, the long-range forecast continues to call for this at least colder air than normal moving through the Great Lakes and the Northeast right on in through next week. So it's not going away anytime soon, and we'll stay on the cooler side of things too here. For boaters, a small craft advisory remains in effect until 9. Then tomorrow, northwest winds at 15 knots and a moderate chop. So a little bit breezy out there in the waters. And the forecast tomorrow, 66 for your high, cool. A chilly start on Friday morning. Saturday looks to be really nice, 75. And we lose an hour of sleep overnight. Spring forward. 70% chance for showers comes late Sunday and into Sunday night. Monday morning, a slight chance for a few lingering showers. Turning cooler again Tuesday. We'll be right back after this.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Loaded with big laughs, colorful characters, and the songs that made the 20s roar, Bullets Over Broadway is bringing musical theater back with a bang. Your attendance is requested at the Players Center for this wild Broadway musical opening February 21st. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit the website at theplayers.org. This is one Broadway show that is sure to knock 'em dead.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Well, it is time again to tee it up on the Dream 18 as we profile some of the best golf courses here on the Sun Coast.
Yeah, I got the chance to play one of the more challenging holes at Terra Golf and Country Club in Bradenton. Welcome to another hole on the Dream 18, and today we're at the beautiful Terra Golf and Country Club. And head pro Melissa Williams, thank you for having us out here today.
You're welcome.
So this looks like a fun hole ahead of us here.
It's a little tricky, risk-reward hole. You've got it all set up by the drive. It's a par 4. Must have a good drive to get your second shot up there.
And it's not a driver off the tee for a lot of people.
Not a driver off the tee. There's a big gunch down about 240 away, so people can't hit their driver.
It's a layup, okay. All right, let's give it a try.
Okay.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah. Excellent.
Well, Melissa, this is a beautifully framed hole. You've got, you know, trees and woods and then some, what'd you call it?
Gunch.
Gunch in front of the green here. So it's carry and just get it up there on top of the green.
All carry. You have a 178-yard shot. We have 4 bunkers that kind of frame the left side of the fairway. But if you hit it in the middle of the green, no problem.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Ooh, this
there.
is going to be nice.
Looking good.
A little short.
Nope, pushed it.
Easy 4.
Yep, I'll take it. There you go. 2 pars, not bad.
Not bad.
I'll take that any day. Thank you for having us out here, Melissa. This is a member-only, resident-only course, right? If you live here, you're playing here.
Yes, you're a member, no matter if it's a social or a golf.
Yeah.
There's 766 golfing memberships and 150 social. So it's always busy.
Well, it's a beautiful course. Thank you for having us out here.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on the Dream 18. We'll see you next time. Yeah, it is a really nice course.
It is.
Yeah.
I've had a chance to play it many times. I did the Dream 18 last year on
Yep.
it, and
that
hole's nice. That number 14, that little dog leg right, short, you got to play up and then hit over the gunch. Is that
That's right. I didn't know what it was called, but now I do. Yeah.
I know I like to stay away from it. The par 3 afterwards is pretty tough, too. It's a good course.
World News Tonight with David Muir is next.
We'll see you again at 11. Have a good night.